Business rivalry is a common thing. McDonald's versus Burger King, Samsung versus Apple, Microsoft versus Apple. Price undercutting is one of the first strategies that's often used by businesses to gain a competitive edge over their rivals. By deliberately setting prices lower than those of their competitors, these companies are aiming to attract customers away from their rivals and undermine their profitability. This strategy often involves sacrificing short term profits in exchange for capturing market share and weakening the position of competitors. We saw that in Walmart, right? Even though Walmart's not that cheap today, but once upon a time they were everyday low pricing. Price undercutting can lead to a price war within an industry as rivals are forced to lower their prices in response, ultimately eroding profit margins for all involved. Because while effective in the short term, sustained price undercutting can damage the reputation of businesses and also devalue their offerings in the eyes of consumers, leading to long term consequences for brand equity and profitability. After all, how can you say that your products are superior and demand more money when all you do is cut your prices? Product imitation or replication is another dirty tactic that's used by businesses to steal market share from their rivals. This strategy often involves copying the products or services of competitors, often with minor modifications or at a lower cost. By capitalizing on the research, development, and marketing efforts of their rivals, companies can offer similar offerings at a reduced price, attracting customers away from the original innovators, and in this sense, they're able to capitalize on their rivals' ideas, even though they were not the first to come up with it. Product imitation can also undermine the competitive advantage of businesses that invest in innovation and differentiation, discouraging further investment into certain types of research and development. Intellectual property is key. Additionally, it can also lead to consumer confusion and dissatisfaction if the copied products fail to meet the quality or performance standards of the originals, ultimately damaging the reputation of the imitating company. After all, years ago, everyone had Chinese knockoffs, right? And those weren't often very quality. Aggressive marketing campaigns. These are campaigns that highlight rival weaknesses, and they're a common tactic used by businesses to undermine their competitors. By emphasizing the shortcomings or vulnerabilities of rival products or services, companies seek to discredit their competitors and sway consumers to choose their offerings instead. I mean, you can imagine you have a Bounty commercial for paper towels, and you have some competitor paper towel that falls apart, can't get up all the liquid, but Bounty is just keeps on soaking and soaking and soaking, right? This strategy often involves deploying persuasive messaging, comparative advertising, and negative publicity to tarnish the reputation of rivals and position oneself as a superior alternative. Wendy's used to do this back in the day when they kept saying, "Where's the beef?" Every competitor never had beef, but their sandwiches had this huge amount of beef patties. This can be effective in influencing consumer perceptions in the short term. Aggressive marketing campaigns can also escalate tensions within an industry and lead to retaliatory actions by competitors. After all, at this point, at what point does it become libel or slander or defamation? This can backfire as consumers perceive the messaging as manipulative or dishonest, and this can damage the credibility and trustworthiness of the business itself involved. What about securing exclusive deals, partnerships, or monopolizing the market? This is a dirty tactic employed by businesses to limit the access of their rivals to crucial resources or distribution channels. By leveraging their market power or financial resources, companies can negotiate exclusive agreements with suppliers, distributors, or retailers, effectively shutting out their competitors from key markets or channels. Back in the day, I worked for a company that wanted to do exactly that. They brought products to different cruise lines, and they wanted those cruise lines to only exclusively deal with them and refuse any other competitors. This strategy can create barriers for entry for new entrants and entrench the dominance of incumbents, stifling competition and innovation in the process, and that's a big no no. However, exclusive deals and partnerships can also attract regulatory scrutiny and antitrust investigations if they're deemed to be anti-competitive or harmful to consumer welfare, right? Remember back in the day, Microsoft, which controlled Windows, which was the dominant operating system, kept forcing people back to more Microsoft products and didn't give their rivals a chance. These monopolistic practices can result in legal sanctions, fines, or forced divestitures, leading to reputational damage and financial penalties for businesses involved. Just like back in the day, AT&T, Bell Telephone had to break it all up, couldn't just monopolize the entire country. Stealing the best employees is another dirty tactic that's used as they poach managers and try to drain the brain power of rival companies. They want to deprive them of key personnel and valuable industry knowledge. They offer higher salaries, better benefits, more attractive career opportunities, and these companies can lure away key employees from their competitors, disrupting their operations and eroding their competitive advantage. This can almost be crippling if, in fact, their whole management staff disappears overnight. This tactic can be particularly damaging if skilled employees with specialized expertise or strategic insights are poached, as it can hamper the ability of rivals to innovate, execute business strategies, or maintain customer relationships. Moreover, poaching managers or executives can also destabilize leadership and direction of rival companies, causing them internal turmoil and undermine their ability to compete effectively in the marketplace. After all, this is why we have these non-disclosure agreements or non-competitive agreements that basically say that, oh, even if you do leave, you can't take our secrets with you. You can't take our customers with you. What about legal retaliation? This is another dirty tactic which can be used to harass, intimidate, or financially burden rivals. Imagine you're a large company, you see a small company that's actually got a good idea starting to enter the market space. Now your lawyers, your fleet of lawyers, sends threatening letters to cease and desist because you're encroaching into our territory and somehow you're stealing from our intellectual property. This can really almost stifle competition, get rid of innovative competitors, and keep the business almost monopolistic, right? Or oligopolistic. This legal retaliation can be used as a means of retribution for pursued grievances or as a preemptive strategy to deter rivals from challenging their market position or business practices. It's all about keeping the market share, right? They're engaging in protracted legal battles, and it can be costly and time consuming for all parties involved, with the potential for damaging outcomes such as negative publicity, court ordered injunctions, or monetary damages. Remember, even if you end up losing the lawsuit in the long run, the amount of money you pay in attorney's fees and lost time litigating a case can be crippling. Abusing the legal system can be very anti competitive, and it can attract the regulatory scrutiny and legal sanctions if the governmental regulating bodies catch you doing it. It can also have reputational and financial repercussions in the long run. In conclusion, businesses often employ a range of dirty tactics to try to gain a competitive advantage over their rivals. Right? Obviously, you want to be the only game in town, but you got to be careful that it doesn't become too monopolistic or oligopolistic. These tactics can include price undercutting, where companies deliberately set prices lower than competitors to attract customers and undermine profitability; product imitation or replication, where businesses copy the offerings of the competitors and attempt to steal market share; aggressive marketing campaigns that highlight rival weaknesses, often to discredit them or impugn them and sway away customers; securing exclusive deals such as partnerships or monopolizing the market to limit rivals' access to crucial resources or channels or the ability to even enter altogether; stealing the best employees and poaching managers to weaken competitors by depriving them of talent and industry knowledge, as well as the last being legal retaliation, lawsuits, and litigation, which can be used to harass, intimidate, and financially burden their rivals. It's the war of attrition, right? While these tactics may yield short term gains, they can lead to long term consequences such as damaged reputations, legal sanctions, and regulatory scrutiny, which highlights the risk involved with engaging in unethical competitive practices nonetheless. I hope you enjoyed this segment. Please like, share, and subscribe. Please continue to support the channel. I love you all. Have a wonderful day.